Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright, guys, on this episode of Bullet Points this morning, I'm going to show you an opinion piece written in The Hill. Now, what's important about this is written by a previous House member. So, this is someone who's seen the internals of the House of Representatives in the United States Congress. Now, this is really important because while I'm reading this for you, and it will be linked below per usual, I want you to keep in mind every other hot button topic in the entire United States political spectrum and then translate or impose that on what we're talking about here, because this is important because the blind spot is staggering by this politician or previous politician. Check it out. Like I said, everything is linked in the description box below per usual. Let's hit it because we're going to talk about the situation that is occurring in New York. Okay? Hearts and prayers are not enough. Congress must act now to combat gun violence. Okay, that's the same old rhetoric, right? But, like I said, let this story develop. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This is by Steve Israel. This came out yesterday. Like I said, prior member of Congress. Now, what I'm showing you on screen is the actual New York rating for every town for gun safety. Okay, this is like the premier gun control source. This is what they say about New York. New York is a national leader in gun violence prevention. From background checks on all gun sales, to strong extreme risk law, to laws to disarm domestic abusers, to police reform laws, and strong permit systems for the purchase and carry of handguns. New York has enacted some of the strongest gun laws in the country, and they're rated number 3. Okay? 3. But now, listen to what this representative has to say, because it doesn't jive with this, right? Another shooting. This time on a Brooklyn subway, and everything remains the same. Again, keep in mind location of this place with these gun laws. All right? Everything is the same, which is another way of saying that nothing will change. He's lamenting that more stringent gun control can't be instituted. We'll keep seeing it, reporting on it, absorbing it, processing it, wincing from it, moving past it. We'll keep tolerating political leaders who offer hearts and prayers but vote against any sensible gun safety legislation. Again, keep in mind, this occurred in New York. Last week, there was California, both of the leading gun control states. This is where you start to get into this dissonance where what you're doing is not working. You're trying to prevent and change the outcome by doing the exact same thing, which will not work. This is important because the things that he's not mentioning here are members of Congress and the laws are constrained by the Constitution. You can't violate the Constitution. That's just the way that it is. It is a guaranteed right. The only way that you get rid of these guns is what he's talking about, is by revoking the Second Amendment, which has no chance of happening. But that's not going to stop them from continuing to push the envelope, again, to reinforce situations that are not stopping what they're trying to prevent. They're only infringing upon the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens, particularly in New York, where you can't really defend yourself pending this Supreme Court case we have coming out, all right? How is that possible, people ask? Why, if 80% of Americans support common sense gun safety, is Congress paralyzed? Now, common sense is a completely subjective term, and 80% of Americans might have different ideas of what they understand to be gun safety, right? One person could say background checks already exist. Another person could say take all guns away. It's a very broad spectrum there, so it's not really a fair comparison, but let's keep going. Now, this is a personal subjective story that he's sharing from an elevator conversation after 2017-2018 laws and conversations around votes for gun control. I told him I didn't understand, talking to a gun rights supporter. I'd seen the polls, and the policies had the support of 80% of his constituents, talking about another representative. True, he responded, but it was the 20% that would defeat him in a primary that worried him. So that right there, perfect. What he's talking about is the idea that if he goes against gun rights in a gun-faring state or a gun-faring district, he's going to be primaried by someone who respects gun rights. Now's the part where you impose every other hot-button political topic that we have in this country. If you're looking at the left, let's talk about immigration. Let's talk about abortion. This exact same thing happens no matter what policy it is, no matter what part of the country it is. The only thing that differs is the political stance of the constituents and therefore the representatives. He's decrying the political process that we have because he just can't get what he wants done. It's very important, but he doesn't say that. He only decries the fact that gun control is suffering from this malady, when in reality it's all political spectrums. Okay, we're going to keep going. As a result, Most members fear losing their election not to the opposite party, but in a primary challenge from someone more extreme than themselves. Rashida Tlaib, AOC, anything? Anybody? Nancy Pelosi? All of these people are doing the exact same thing. This is the political process. When you reflect the constituency's desires, you're going to either be primaried or you're going to do what they say. That's the whole power of our system. It's a representative government. Oh, well, now, last piece on that one. And a litmus test for conservative voters, even in moderate districts, is guns, because it's the Second Amendment right. Anything less than absolute fealty to the gun lobby is an invitation to a primary challenge. I think that's a bit of an extreme, but again, filter in abortion, immigration, taxes, rich versus poor, all the things that you could imagine. It's the exact same thing. That's the political process. Until then, expect more of the same. Sure, my heart and prayers go to the people felled by bullets in Brooklyn, but a law putting at least a dent in this carnage would be a hell of a lot more useful. You're in New York. This is number 3 according to Everytown for Gun Safety, which is what I showed you at the intro. What else do you want? Last week was California, number 1. You cannot regulate and legislate morality. You can only address the fact that you can defend yourself or be a victim to the people who do these kind of things. And the more that you decry our political system and stay on the road of gun control is the only way, we just need more of it, the more you're going to suffer because it's not the answer. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.